What's up, Eager to Pleasers? Welcome back to another episode of the Eager to Please podcast. I hope you were able to listen to my conversation with MaryBeth Hyland last week, and if not, I invite you to go check it out. She shared some pretty incredible tips on setting healthy boundaries and learning to stay true to your core values. If you're like me and don't know where to start, I recommend taking the values profile assessment on her website, which I'll link to this episode. It'll take you all of 10 minutes or so, and I think everyone who's looking to change their life in a meaningful way would be willing to spend those 10 minutes. Time is precious, I know, but so is your mental health. Once you're done answering a series of questions, you'll be sent a report that breaks out your results into 4 categories. Core values, which are the values that drive you. Aspiration values, which are the values you wish drove you. Values that describe you. And values that don't resonate with you. This is a great place to begin if you're looking to take those beginning steps towards reducing stress, increasing your well-being, and creating a more thriving environment around you. As MaryBeth shared during our chat, values come from within. They shouldn't be driven by external factors like productivity and financial success. And since we're talking about the values profile, I thought it might be interesting to share some of my results. It wasn't surprising to me that some of my core values are ambition, authenticity, cleanliness, empathy, equality, helpfulness, independence, loyalty, organization, and self-discipline. Some of the values that did not align with me are being daring and wealth. I think it's just as important to know what values define your inner being, as well as those that don't resonate with you. Both serve to help create healthy boundaries that make you feel in balance and in control of your life. As I like to do when we're closing out a month and getting ready for a new theme, I wanted to share some highlights and key points I took away from MaryBeth's book, Permission to Be Human, The Conscious Leader's Guide to Creating a Values-Driven Culture, that was gifted to me by a dear friend, Sandy Spiegel. In the opening pages, MaryBeth shares this experience, one that was painfully similar to mine. She goes on to say that she spent years feeling like a loner. She lived a psychologically heavy life, thinking that something was wrong with her because of the lack of emotional reciprocation from others that just felt normal to her. Like MaryBeth, I would pour myself into others, expecting the same would be returned. And when it wasn't, in crept the loneliness and anger and resentment and sadness. We're all taught the golden rule of treating others the way you want to be treated. But how can you treat others the way you want to be treated if you have no clue how you really want to be treated? All you know for certain is that you don't want to feel pain, but you're unclear of what the other end looks like, what the other end feels and sounds like, because you've never experienced it before. So many of us live out our lives based on what other people want for us. We're not tapped into what makes us feel a sense of purpose, alignment, and aliveness. So we throw ourselves into survival mode and become a version of ourselves so far from who we were meant to be. One of my biggest weaknesses was holding others to the same expectations that I held myself accountable for. Oddly enough, MaryBeth touches on this very topic in her book. She shares that expectations minus agreement equals disappointment. So often in life, we encounter a situation with a list of preconceived expectations. Typically, these are private and not vocalized. And oftentimes, when expectations are not met, we're left feeling angry, frustrated, unheard, and even enraged. But from personal experience, I haven't come across too many mind readers, so how are others supposed to live up to my expectations if I'm not able to communicate them clearly? Herein lies the concept of boundaries. This is why it's so incredibly important to know your personal values, to get clear on the words that describe your strongest intrinsic motivation, the pieces of your internal compass that drive you, if you will. We're not born with a set of values. They're typically instilled in us by others, for better or for worse. But when we take the time to honor our past and do the hard work to get to know ourselves, we can make sense of our values in a much more meaningful way by staying true to the ones that bring us peace and clarity. Another lesson learned from MaryBeth is to learn and accept that we're all human. We all make mistakes, and when we learn to take control out of the picture and turn that inward, life becomes so much more clear, manageable, and purposeful. You're not going to change others, but you can change yourself. Give yourself the permission to be human, to allow yourself the grace to explore what fills your cup and what doesn't serve you. Then use that discovery to move forward, rather than staying in a place where you protect your victimhood. That was a pretty powerful reminder. But the parting wisdom I'd love to leave you with today is this. People generally are not stressed because they're doing too much. They're stressed because they're doing too little of what aligns with their values. There's so much freedom in taking back your power and knowing what you stand for. So go take the quiz and start making those small changes. I promise you, it makes all the difference. I can't wait to see you back here for the next episode. New theme, new month. See you then.